Okay, welcome back to a new little segment that we're going to be rolling for. It is now week 1 of the NRL season. We're still mixing with names a little bit, Jacko. Obviously, Jackson Thomas from YKTR Sports has joined us. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, Skip.
We're thinking maybe the journo and the vet, that sort of vibe. We're with the James Hooper of New Zealand media right now.
Don't do that to me. Oh, you know what the saddest part is, bro? I've met that bloke once, and he was so nice, man. Like, I had only good things to say about the cunt, and never a massive fan of his work, but such a nice guy. And then to see what happened yesterday, I was fucking spewing.
Yeah, for sure. And he's been pretty honest about it in the past, where he talks about he answers to News Limited, and these stories sort of keep everyone clickbaiting in. I'm going to touch on a little bit more with Kempy and Ice tonight. I've got an idea that I might float to potentially combat. I think we're moving towards more positive energy anyway, and just stirring away from that. Not even paying attention to those sorts of articles. But I'll dive a little bit more into that on the Footy Companion tonight.
I think if I just we'll get off this in 2 seconds. But the thing with Hoops and guys like that is you need to separate that they're not. Or they either are moving away from, or they're not journos, they're columnists. And columnists get paid for opinions. So often they take the hot take because they know it's going to get picked up, and that's what gets their fucking dick hard, But the fact, calling them journos, that's what loops journos into this thing. Journalists are out there chasing news and presenting the news. Like Justin Horro signed with Parramatta. That's what journos do. Yep. Columnists write Justin Horro's a flog. They're two different, they're two different jobs, really. So Hoops is a columnist first and a journo second, unfortunately, because he was such a good journo. But yeah, that was how about Christian Welch off the top ropes?
Love that. Good anyway. White Rhino's just stepping right in there. A bit of status at the moment. Had a really good season. GF, Queensland, feeling himself.
Love it.
What's up, baby? Going to get after it. Before we hit the intro, a little grateful, brother. You got a grateful for us today?
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I always forget that you're going to hit me with this. Look, I'm going to say grateful for the goats. So we've obviously had a couple of goats retire in the last few days. Smithy, obviously, proving that you can look like an accountant and still be the fucking best player in the world. So shout out to Smithy. And then on the other side of that, Sonny Bill as well, hanging him up. You can look like a fucking Adonis and still wreck cunts for 20 plus years. So Sonny and Smithy, those are my gratefuls, bro. I get to, we grew up in a time we get to watch Messi, Ronaldo, LeBron, Federer, Sonny Bill, Cannon Smith. We're pretty lucky. So grateful for that, mate. I'll
tell you what, off the cuff, I could, because we didn't talk about it as well. And I was like, I wonder where he's going to go with this, but geez, you handled yourself well. You're a professional, Jacko.
Thanks,
my grateful is, and it might sound a bit conceited, but I have been asked a fair bit over the last 3 or 4 weeks to go on a whole heap of podcasts, join super coach tipping comps, and I've politely declined because I've been so busy with stuff. So I'm also trying to put this out there. I'm trying to put this energy out there and just let people. I'm obviously so grateful for it that people now are loving my stuff and want me to come and join their tipping comps and join the super coach. With the super coach stuff in particular, I only lasted about 3 or 4 weeks with it, and it got a bit messy when we did the Supercoach League. So I'm going to stay away from it this year, and obviously I'm trying to bring out as much content as I can for you guys. So Lukey, NRL Guru, yeah. So we've got guys that NRL Guru, even Roasty, bro. Roasty's a big friend of ours. I had to turn down doing a bit of a betting tipping show on a Wednesday night because for the people who don't know, I work from Sunday to Wednesday doing the traffic control stuff, and I'm trying to get that bread, trying to get that paper, baby. And then with this stuff, building the content and all the merch. So extremely grateful to be invited for all those people, but so busy at the moment, and I'm just going to keep pumping out that content for you guys. So Lukey, hit the intro for us, please, brother.
Tell me what you need and need. Let's go. Tell me what you want and want. Let's go. Tell me what you call and call. Let's go. Yeah.
This is where I do my best work, baby. Shit. Just a little bit off topic. Simi sort of got no rhythm on the way I was dancing. I asked him if I had rhythm, and he said no.
Well, you got to play him that clip just there, bro.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, he hasn't been seeing it. He hasn't been paying attention to the intros. He must be like, when he's like got his head in his camera all the time, and he's like worried about himself. And he's like,
all the fucking time.
Sorry, he's in the background swearing and that. So we'll beat that out. All right. So, like I said, this show we'll record this Thursday morning. We're trying to gather as much information between us two as we can. We're going to be doing a tipping comp within just YKTR Sports. So obviously me and you will talk about our tips and we'll discuss them a little bit. Lukey, Ice and Simi are also going to put their tips up and you can follow that on the new YKTR mag. We'll also give you the multi of doom, which I'll put up for the SPC. I'm not locking that multi of doom in until I chat to you and we talk about the selections and if there are any changes that you would like to make. And then I'll give you my best head-to-head bet for the season. And I also want to track that too because, you know, sometimes when we talk about punting tips and all that sort of stuff, we'll put it in a little spreadsheet. We'll see how we're going throughout the year. And then at the end of the season, we'll address it and see, are we as good as we think we are?
I love that, mate. I'll take the reins on that. I'll do the admin side of that. You provide the jam and I'll build out the back end of it. Sounds good.
Beautiful. All right, so let's kick it off. We'll do our tips first. It kicks off with a footy companion tonight for us. This will be, like I said, this will be dropping tomorrow. It is split $1.90 Storm vs Rabbitohs, mate. Who are you going?
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty. It's a coin flip game, isn't it? So the Storm, obviously, the big storyline of that's Bally's never lost a round one game, which is a fucking joke.
That's a crazy.
Did you ever play the Storm in round one? Did you ever get pasted up in round one?
Are you fucking with me?
No, I'm asking you
because I got tagged in a few. Fox just posted something. We were beating the Storm 20-0 at home in 2014, and they come back and beat us 22. They kicked the goat kicked the field goal in extra time to beat us. I thought you were fucking with me there. But so what happened was in that game we were running. We were so clean, and then Snakey did his hammy about 5 minutes before halftime. Petty Hiku went, you know, our boy, big love for Petty Hiku. Uncle Neff for me. Neff Hiku went to fullback. Skivvy got pulled off. Stevie Maddow got pulled off in the wing, and then the liability of Scope got put into the centres, and old Billy the Kid had a field day coming down that right edge against me. So they scored a couple of tries down our edge and then the goat sealed it with a field goal in extra about 2 or 3 minutes in extra time.
They're around one side. Look, on the Storm, I really like Remus Smith, man. I think that's been a slept-on signing for the Storm. He's been named at centre, I think. Maybe on the wing. I believe he's at right centre. And he's fucking talented, man. Like, the Dogs obviously had to move some boys around, but fuck, he's a good player, Remus Smith. South's are kind of on everyone's sort of. He's like the Luca MVP tip pre-season. South's kind of everyone's team to go all the way.
Yep.
But the Storm in round one, man. Look, it's a genuine coin flip. I think $1.90 is pretty easy money. It'll be close, but fuck, if gun to my head, I'll take Melbourne, man.
Yeah, I'm going Melbourne as well. But what about this I just got it up just because I wanted to get this exactly right. Latrell Mitchell put up a post yesterday and he said 24 hours till we take over Melbourne with the big gorilla emoji. Oh. That's big time round one swag, bro. Like, I love that. Like, I wrote that caption's tough as fuck.
Bro, you know what? The thing with Latrell, like, you know how maybe it was a season ago, everyone was getting on him for coming in a bit heavy into the preseason.
Yep.
In that Charity Shield game, he still looks like he's carrying a bit of meat around, but he needs that. He's that type of frame. Like, he's that big and he moves so well. When he comes in a bit thicker, I fucking like it, man. And the gorilla emoji, that sums him up, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like the amount of confidence to post that against the team that just won the comp the year before. He's obviously looked in good nick in the Charity Shield game, obviously killed Mudders and the Dragons. And even in the Indigenous game was, you know, one of the better players in a side that was a little bit inconsistent through it, like that, a heap of drop ball, but he looked really good, mate. So it's $1.90 a piece.
So I'm going Melbourne.
It's well and true. I'm going. There's going to be a lot of times throughout the year. I don't care if they've lost 5 in a row. I'm just going Melbourne because it's like back in the day, tipping the Patriots. Like, even when you think they're not like, the other teams, you know, they're building, they're looking nice, and the Melbourne just win all the time, bro. Like, so stop fucking around. I'm just going to pick Melbourne. I think Rabbitohs obviously capable of beating them, but I'm going to stick with Melbourne for the first game.
What's the spread on that one? It was about 1.5 or something?
It was a 1.5 to start off with, and now it's ended up changing to like even once it becomes even money. I think it's only like 0.5. 0.5, so like a field goal. Yeah, it's not even really worth it. You're better off just going at the head-to-head. The next game is the Dogs versus Knights at 6 p.m. Lukey's just pulling that up.
Yeah, beauty.
Here we go, 6 p.m. The Knights are at home. $1.48 to the Bulldogs, $2.60, mate. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, I think there's a bit of value, and I think it's going to be a tough out for Newey first up, to be honest. I love that Sexy Texie's getting a run.
Yeah.
But the injuries, I think, are really going to hurt them. I think the Dogs are massive value too, to be honest. Like,
I agree.
Especially at the line, the 5.5 line. The last time I looked at it, I think they get it done at 5.5, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing Avarillo sort of develop at 6 this year as well, now that your boy or our mate Fozzie's out. So the Dogs, last year, similar to the Titans, that back end, they were fun to watch, man. They just dug deep, gritted it out, and got their shit down. Now they add pieces like Kotrick. Avarillo gets his hands on the ball a bit more. I think it's going to be a tough night
Hetherington in the front row for him. They've got a real rugged front row, forward pack. I'm also.
Right, he did.
Are you going the Dogs then, or are you going Knights Head? You just like the start?
I like the start. I think the Dogs will win, but as a bit of a cover bet, I'll take the line definitely.
Yep, I agree, mate, with everything you just said. I'm on the Bulldogs as well. I just think from top to bottom, the nice additions of Corey Allen goes to fullback. Dallin flips to the wing where I think he does his best work. I know he wants to play fullback, but his fucking yardage carries a doom from the wing. When he just puts his head down and runs, mate, he can run over front rowers from that position. I'm excited to see how, I guess, the mine Kyle Flanagan goes with the new
pressure. Yeah,
new pressure, but like also this is his team and he gets to run it his way. So I'm intrigued to see how that goes. They're one of those teams that they're a bit of a swing team for us this year. Like they could finish anywhere. Yeah. They could honestly they could be all hype and finish in the bottom 2 or 3, or they could somehow sneak their way into the top 8. So,
mate, I think you mentioned Hetherington and that forward pack. They could fuck around and squeak them into the 8, man. That's a good pack. If Avarillo develop like we think he's going to develop, which is just going to be time. Like you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it on Friday. He's not going to fucking run the whole game on Friday. But if Avarillo can turn into a nice piece with him, Flanagan leads them around the park, and that pack of doom gets up. Man, I really like the Dogs this year. They just play so tough, man. And if the Knights were full strength, it's a different story. But just I'd definitely take the spread on that one. I like the Dogs, man. They're good value, I think.
Yeah, I agree, mate. KP and Blake Green in particular. I talked him up on my NRL preview with Kempy, and I think he's going to be a big piece for him this year. So for him not to be ready from that ACL injury, I believe, he doesn't look he's too far away. I've seen him running around. So hopefully him and KP can get back on the field as soon as possible for the Knights.
Who are they? Are they named? Oh, Mason's left. Mason Leno's left. Who's in the hard for them? I don't even know.
Kurt Mann's playing 6 for him. He did really well last year. Kurt Mann is going to be a really important piece when Grady comes back because he's that swing player. We talked about how we think it's important that every team has a swing 9, 6, 7 that can come on at the back end of halves when the intensity of the game is going to be so high this year that he's going to be a really important piece. So,
they've kind of got 2 in Connor Watson as well, don't they?
Yeah, and Connor's playing middle. He's starting lock. So to have those 2 guys, heaps of versatility. They get that Jaden Brayley back who did his ACL at the start of last year as well, who they expected big things from. He's straight into the leadership group this year as well. So we're both in agreement there. So we're both Storm Dogs so far?
Yeah, I like it, man. Yeah, definitely the spread on the Dogs, but I do think they get home.
All right, a moot going up to Suncorp for the Broncos versus Eels, mate.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be another tough year for the Bronx. Kivy will have them up, but I just think on talent, like just looking at this game, I won't get too deep into what I think is going to happen this year. But I'm not crazy about the roster. Sorry, especially missing Katoni, obviously. Para, even the -8.5 is pretty good value for me. I think they run up a little score on them. Without being disrespectful to the Bronx, I think this could kind of be the blowout of the weekend if there is going to be one. So even though it is up there, which does help them, but yeah, I think Para's going to be far too strong. I think they might run a bit of a cricket score on them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just keep thinking about last year's round 1 against the Bulldogs where Para took a while before they started getting going, and Bulldogs realistically should have beat him in that game. I think they end up just squeaking by and winning by a couple of points. I think this is going to be quite a tricky game for them again this year. Broncos, they've got that new Kevy Walters. I don't think it's going to last long. I'm not the biggest Kevy Walters fan. I think he will, in a way, just bring back some good feelings towards the club. Speaking to Lexi and Jesse the other day, there's a good vibe around the club. They're going to be old boys. There's going to be a rejuvenation sort of in the boys, but whether that lasts for a long period of time, I'm not too sure. I think just for the round 1, it's going to be a little bit closer than what you think, but I've got the Eels just scraping by in that. Anywhere between maybe the 6 to 10 range. So right on the spread. But I think they might struggle with the energy of the Broncos early on and just the cohesiveness. It's the start of the year. Everyone sort of looks at these sorts of games and it's very hard to pick a blowout and it's very hard to pick week 1. So That's what I'm going to put that down to. I'm going to have the Eels getting the job done, but I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
All right, moving on to our game. The Warriors versus the Titans. Warriors $2,
Let's go, baby.
$2.20 underdogs at their home for this week, Central Coast Stadium.
Disrespectful.
And the Titans are $1.65. They're obviously my hype team. You know, I've been talking about them. I'll kick this off because I'll let you do your best work with the Warriors late. I'm on the Titans, mate. I'm on the hype train. I've got a lot of belief in them, but by no means do I think this is going to be easy. I really wanted to put the Warriors in my 8, and I couldn't quite find a position for them, but I won't be surprised if they make it. I like their initial first 17 as well. Obviously, the young half would be nice for the Warriors if he was back playing. But, yeah, I think the Titans – I think the trial was a 10-all draw, 12-all draw, and I don't see it being that much different. I think it's going to be a real close encounter, but I've got the Titans in a close one.
Yeah, look, before I get into this, our Warriors Bird Gang bet, that still stands?
Yeah, that's
still stands. Have we decided on what we're doing for that? Yeah. Do you want to tell the people what that is?
Yeah. So me and you, we have got a wager to see who will finish higher between the two, the Warriors and the Seagulls.
Yeah.
So whoever finishes higher on the ladder. Did we come up with is it cash or what are we going to do? We should do something
maybe
fun.
We'll discuss that when I do touch down.
Let's do something fun. Maybe a jersey. I don't know. We'll come up with something good for it and something a little bit more, bit different than just having a punt on it. So because we can probably get better odds for both of our teams if we just if we bet with sports bet or tab or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, look. Okay, ripping into this game then. Look, I promise I won't bet on them every week. Every time we do this show, I promise I won't. But taking my heart out of this, I genuinely think the boys get up. Massive signings, obviously, for the Titans and the Doco. Everyone loves them. You're on them. They came home so strong last year. But there's just something about this matchup, man, the Warriors love. And diehards will know it's the best winning percentage against any club. So I think they've played something like 28 games. The Warriors have won 19. Gold Coast have won 8 or something like that.
Yep.
I'm not as high on the Titans as everyone else this year. I actually think they missed the 8. I love me some AJ Brimson. Like, you ask
Everyone
anyone
does.
I know, I'm fucking that high on that gun. I reckon, he's gun, bro. And similar to sort of Snakey or Wade McKinnon, just to sneak another Warriors reference in there, he's so good at pushing up through the middle off those big forwards. And when he's got Tino and Fafita there as well, he's going to have a fucking field day this year. Disrespectful to put the boys at $2.20. So I'm 100% jumping on them there. I don't know what the line is. I didn't have a look, but head to head, I think they get up. They're full strength, bro. The Warriors are full strength. Roger's going to have a season of fucking doom in his last year as well. I think it'll be close, but I think the boys will get up. I love that back row, man. Asirin and Tohu and young Katoa. Elisa Katoa, bro. If anyone sort of watched the back end of last year, knows what a fucking freak in nature this cunt is.
Yeah, I like Katoa.
And I've got on very good authority that he's had himself a pre-season of doom as well. So Katoa's going to be massive if he stays healthy. He's obviously got his injury concerns, but with him and then Jazzy coming off the bench as well, I could talk about these counts all day, but I like him at 220, man.
Yeah, I think that's going to be close to one of the games of the round too. Like, obviously, apart from the Thursday night we're doing, that's probably that'll be, if I'm looking at the odds too, like, pretty close, and I think it's going to be really competitive. So that's going to be one of my favourite games. Moving from your team to my team, mate. My Bird Gang are playing the Roosters, who I've left out of the 8. Seen Boydie Cordner training this morning at Reborn. Just another reason why I'm confident that my Bird Gang are going to beat them, brother. $3.50 underdogs is jam. $1.29. I think the start is even bigger jam. So you've got a fair indication where I might be going with that. I honestly believe, like you, mate, the one obviously big question mark is Dylan Walker to fullback. When I spoke to Fozzie a couple of weeks ago, I talked about it on the NRL preview. I was going to keep it on the low until the teams were announced.
You did well to keep that close to your chest as well. I could see it burning you.
I wanted to give a scoop, but I gave him my word. Fozzie really likes the way he's been training at the back. He's played a little bit, dabbled there a little bit in the past, and even I think you've got a few reps on the wing for the New Zealand multi team, getting under the high ball, which will serve him well for this game. I'm a little bit concerned with the Roosters. So, Lukey, just quickly, is Radley officially out, or what's the go with Radley? Because that's a big one too. If Radley's out, I love my chances even more. But I I think the Bird Gang can get the job in this one, mate.
Yeah, look, we all know you're off the chooks this year, so that doesn't surprise me. What's the line? Is it 9.5 the spread?
9.5.
Yeah, it is juicy. If Tommy was there, I'd have a fucking proper lick.
Well, if Tommy was there, you wouldn't be getting 9.5.
Exactly. There you go. So look,
I'm looking
forward to seeing Cheers and Kears back.
Sorry, Jacko. Victor Radley, too much ban at the moment. Oh, he's accepted it?
Oh, there you go.
All right, so he got the Mutters treatment.
Yeah, there you go. So look, yeah, Cheers and Kears back together is going to be fun. We're all looking forward to seeing that. Look, I think it's going to be a close one here. There's definitely not going to be a blowout. Both sides are too good for that, but I think the Roosters will be too classy. I think they'll get ahead early and stay ahead. They're such good front runners, man. If they get on the board early, they won't be run down. As gritty as the Bird Gang are, and as juicy as the 9.5 spread is, I'm going to go the Roosters, man.
Yeah, it's a really important game for the Bird Gang. They've got a pretty tough schedule coming up. They get a Roosters team underdone, obviously, with Boydie. Now, Victor Radley will be a massive plus. From what I've heard, Luke Keary's been carrying a little hammy. Like they've even talked about it up there. He was a little bit underdone with the camp and leading into the trials. I don't think he played a trial. So if they can keep it nice and gritty and keep it nice and close, Manly have been renowned in the past to get those. It's a big year for Des and Manly, considering where they finished last year and what's happened to Turbo. Yeah. So they've got to be firing in this game, mate. They've got to come out, and I think they will. The next game is the 7:35 game. The Panthers are $1.29 favourites against the Cowboys, $3.50.
Yeah, I think Penrith run the table this year, mate. There's my little scoop. They're my pick this year. I know everyone's concerned with the young boys burning out maybe in year 2, and maybe that swagger fucks a few teams off, but I think they're too good, man. I think Cleary's too good. I think Luai's too good. I think 9.5, minus 9.5 is fucking kiddies. I love the Cowboys. Everyone, bro, you're from New Zealand. Everyone in New Zealand loves the Storm, the Broncos, and the Cowboys. For whatever fucking reason, those are the 3 teams they all jump on. And Manly to a lesser extent. Some of your North Shore boys love their Manly, but not a massive blowout because I do think the Cowboys are a little bit slept on, but Penrith by at least 10 to 18 in this one. I think they'll get home pretty comfortably. So the minus 9.5, I think is kiddies, bro. I'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I think the Panthers. The only reason that I don't have them in my multi-doom at the moment, depending on if you can sway me or not, it's the Todd Payton thing. It's just I'm just interested to see. He did such a good job with the Warriors last year. I'm wondering if the energy that he brings to the team. So it made me stay away from that game. But I think on most occasions, Panthers are just gonna. They got that extra motivation. I've spoke to a couple of the boys. Obviously Cleary about he's the main leader of their team, about how focused they're going to be this year, especially at Penrith Stadium, Saturday night, 7:35.
What about? Can you imagine how good Crichton's going to be this year? Like, how good was he last year?
I can honestly see this being.
He's going to come in this year.
I could see this being 20 plus, honestly. But for whatever reason, I just compared to a few of the other games, which I really liked. And it's like I said before with the first game, with regards to the Parramatta game, I prefer in round 1 to take points rather than the minus in the first, just because I think there's so much doubt. Actually, it's less about doubt. It's more about confidence, and it's like a clean slate for all the teams. So I remember going into round 1 a lot of the time, you don't know how bad you are yet. In your mind, you don't. It's not until round 4 you get into round 4 and you start to go, oh fuck, we're shit. Or I was at Manly, I'm like, oh, this is grouse. Like we're 3 from 4 here, or whatever.
Have you've never heard of anyone come in after a preseason and go, fuck, that was ordinary?
Yeah,
they all come in thinking they're fucking God's gift to football, fizzing, fit, firing, strong.
Yeah, everyone's had the preseason of doom. So I'm more inclined to take the points early on for the first couple of weeks. We'll see how that plays out. But I'll stay away from that. I think the Panthers are capable of winning this game by 20 plus. So, I've got the Panthers. We've both got the Panthers. Great. Moving on to Sunday, we've got the Canberra Raiders versus the West Tigers for the first game at about 2 o'clock. Can you just slide that up for us, please, Lukey?
Yeah, beauty. I'll jump straight in while Lukey sorts that out.
Lukey's here. $1.29 for the Raiders and $3.50 for the Tigers. So 3 games exactly the same in a row with the odds, Canberra, Penrith, and Parra versus Broncos.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. Yeah, I'm very high on the Raiders this year. Hodgson is a massive, massive inclusion for them. I'm not fucking breaking any news here. Everyone knows how important he is. I think the Tigers will surprise people this year because they can score points. And if you let them get their tails up with, the Luai boys, Leilua boys rather, and Brooks, they can be tough to run down. But the Raiders for me will be too good, man. I think I'll go very close to winning it all this year. So, and George Williams will go to another level as well. So the Raiders for me, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you again on the Raiders. Tigers, obviously, everyone knows, trying to bet on the Tigers game. I'll fucking stay away from them as much as I can. They're capable of beating the Storm, but losing to the Dragons. So I want nothing to do with the Tigers all year.
Yeah.
But I'll take the Raiders in this one at home, 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. The last game is the Dragons versus the Sharks at Jubilee. So down at that's the Illawarra field, correct? The Dragons at home, $2.20 underdogs against the Sharks, $1.65.
Yeah, no mutters, no chance. Unfortunately, I think I think this is going to be close. Like, what is it? $1.65 for the Sharkies?
$1.65 for the Sharks. Yeah,
I think that seems pretty fair. Moyes obviously back in the halves. This was a tough one. Like, in saying that, the Sharks have lost. They've lost something like their last 8 in a row, round one games, or 7 in a row, or something. Read into that what you will. We talked up how Melbourne's are unbeaten in round one. The Sharks basically never fucking win in round one. So this could be the upset of the weekend. Who knows? But I'd be taking the Sharks. If I was chucking in the multi of doom, I wouldn't even be having a look at it. I just think the Dragons, who fucking knows what they're going to do this year. And obviously without Corey in there, I think their attack's going to probably struggle a bit. But the Sharks are so awful in round one. Who knows, man? And no SJ obviously is big for them. So I'll take the Sharks, but I'm not doing it overly confident, bro.
Well, multi of doom and my Scapes best is going to be pretty funny then. I've gone the Sharks, mate. I'm really confident in this game. I think Dragons are in for a real tough season. No favouritism here with living with Normie. I think even if Normie plays, I think they're going to be in for a real tough season, mate. Watching the Charity Shield game, it's hard to put they're packing. I don't have the Sharks making the 8, but I think they're capable of making the 8. So I think on most occasions, $1. If you can get $1.65 for the Sharks, I think that's a pretty good bet. I think seeing a few more of their players, like you said, Moyes I think he's a really important part of that team, and he's fit and ready to go. They've got some pretty good depth around the middles. I think Andrew Fafita is 18th or 19th man, and he is looking really good. Jacket, can you swing it around? Because with the light, I can't really see you.
Oh, sorry, bro. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I was just...
that's heaps better.
Sorry,
that's heaps better.
Who's the... What's the young fucking wrecking ball there? I always forget his name. Who's in the front row for them, bro?
I'll get it up just quickly.
Yeah.
He's grouse.
We spotlighted him last year, and I've forgotten the name now, but he's a fucking whip.
Keep going down.
Like, he'll be a big reason why Fafita's, not there.
He's not even playing. So Rudolph, go to Rudolph. Magulius is fucking on the bench. Nikora, Wade Graham, Braden Hamlin Ueli, Aaron Woods.
Yeah, he's a good West Auckland boy, Hamlin Ueli.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a sweat going on. So I really liked him in this game. It's probably less to do about the Sharks and more about how I think of the Dragons, like I stated at the start. But I'll get it out there. They're actually my best bet of the week at $1.65. I think that's a good bet on most occasions against the Dragons. I think they're in for a tough season. Obviously mates with all the boys, so hopefully they don't watch this. They're going to need something special from a couple of younger players in particular, man. So,
do they have a couple of younger players?
Cody Ramsey's had a big preseason. Normie said they reckon he's flying around everywhere.
He's going to be sniffing around on the wing, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a big difference, man. Like,
what can you do with a gun winger, really?
Yeah, like good wingers like that look really good in good teams. In bad teams, sometimes it makes other players look even worse. You know what I mean?
That's why I said that I thought Remus Smith was kind of one of the smoky signings of the year, because he's a good player in a bad team going to a great system. I think he's going to have a fucking field day. If someone like Cody Ramsey was parked on the end of, like, say, the Canberra back line or the South back line, mate, he'd be fucking favourite for top try scorer. But I don't think he's going to be getting a lot of meat this year just off the back of the side they've got around him, unfortunately.
Yeah, and like I said, I spoke about the pack. There's some decent names in there. Obviously, Curry and Paul Vaughan have both played Origin. Andrew McCulloch comes down about 3 or 4 weeks ago, still sort of learning how to play with all those boys, and they're learning on him. But when I look at the Sharks pack, led by Wado and Britton Nakora, I think they do a number on him on the edges, mate. The back rowers, I think they've got that Fui Moana out there as well who plays some edge. So it'll be probably Josh Kerr rolling through the middle, and Tarek and Tyrrell, they're going to be in for a big day. They're going to have real big games to contain them. And Bloat FC bench player Toby Rudolph has got the starting lock spot. So
that's what a man should look like.
Can you just roll down to the bench too as well, Lukey, just as we're talking this out? Connor Tracy, Aidan Tolman, who he's a real toiler. Jack Williams, Billy Magoulias.
I didn't even know Aidan Tolman had gone there. That's a bit of a coat.
Yeah. I thought he was really good. I said the same thing to fucking Normie because he lives around us. I was like, man, Dragons, he was off contract. I go get Tolman, man. Like, you needed like a sort of a vet like that. So I'd be surprised if Andrew Fafita doesn't play. I think
that must be a bit of smoke and mirrors on an injury front or something. I wouldn't know, but
because he's looking really fit. I think one of the two out of the Jack Williams or Billy Magoulias might drop off. And
who's got skinnier legs, you or Fafita?
Yeah, theirs are awful as well, because I played with his twin brother Dave over at Wakey, and there was an impressive pair of legs in anyone that played for Wakey. So
those calf skins falling down, awful.
Yeah. All right, mate. Rolling on to the SPC multi of doom. So my best bet, like I said, I'm going Sharks as my best bet. You weren't too confident. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to stick to my guns on that. We'll see how that plays out. The multi of doom. We spoke about it right at the top. We both love it. The Dogs plus 5.5 against the Knights.
Easy money, bro. I think that's the upset. If you want to say upset in terms of odds, I think that's the upset lock of the round. I think they definitely get up over the Knights. I'm not too sure why the value is what it is. It must just be obviously off the back of last season's form, but no KP. It's similar to the Dragons without Mutters, Knights without Newcastle. They're going to struggle, man, against a tough Dogs outfit. I really like that, bro. Nick Kotrick as well. Fucking monster. I think they're going to have a huge year. So, love it, bro. Okay, we love that leg. Next leg, my Bird Gang plus 9.5 against the Roosters. Considering now that the news that Radley's out, does that? I probably think you might not have taken it before, but what are you thinking there? Yeah. The Radley thing isn't massive for me because they didn't have him all last year and it didn't phase him. Not saying he's not an important part of the team or he's not a gun player. Obviously he is, but I don't like that, unfortunately, man. I just think the new spine is, you said it off the bat. Round one, you never know how good or how bad you are. And as much as Fozzie tells you he's loving watching Dylan Walks at the back, of course he fucking loves watching Dylan Walks at the back. He's running against no one. So I think Trent Robinson will come in with a plan for that. 9.5. I did say I think
it's a lot of points. So it's a lot of points.
I like that you've gone the spread. But if there's any way I can arm wrestle you over to pick it against your Titans, that's where I'll be heading, mate, because you get the same value for I think it's going to be a closer game. I'll be taking the Warriors at the spread over that one, to be honest. I don't think Manly have the attack to beat the Roosters. I really don't. All
right, we'll discuss that more as we get off air. The last one, the Sharks minus 3.5. By the sounds of it, you didn't like that one as well.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, bro.
That's all right. Hey, this is what we're trying to discuss. This is a little potty. We'll see how we go.
Yeah. No, look, it's not that I don't like it. I think the Sharks.
Well, you know what we'll do, actually? I'm going to add this to it now, right? So I'm doing the multi of doom this week. If I get it, I'll go again next week, and then obviously if I miss it, then you go next week. How about that? So we'll stay on if we keep hitting it, and then I'll discuss yours next week.
Yeah, I'll just be picking like Roosters, Melbourne, Raiders. So, look, I think actually the spread, the minus 3.5, it's good money. I actually like that.
The more we spoke about it,
I wouldn't be betting on the game just because the Sharks are so awful in round one, but they should beat the Dragons. And if they're going to beat them, they're going to do it by more than a try. They're not going to squeak past them by a field goal or a penalty. So I think that's good, mate. The only one I don't like is the Bird Gang bet, to be honest. But
okay.
But I'll live with it. Listen, it's your team. It's your multi of doom. I'm happy to live with that. You got 2 out of 3 of them. You got me.
It's our multi of doom. So 2 from 3 you like. That's the big one. The Seagulls plus 9.5. We'll see how that plays out. like I said, if this doesn't go
What
any
about,
good,
mate,
I'm handing the reins over to you next week.
Can I? Yeah. Well, look, if I could propose something else, we were both quite heavy on the Raiders.
Yep.
What's the spread on them against the Tigers?
It's 9.5 as well, mate.
You reckon that's not better value?
The only thing
than your bird game?
But the only thing is that scares me is the Tigers. I'm staying away from Tigers games. That's going to be one of my. I'm going to have a couple of rules. I'm going to pretty much back against the Dragons any chance I get, and I'm staying away. And I'm staying. No, mate, I'm just being honest, and I'm going to stay away from. I'm going to stay away from Tigers games because they've burnt me.
That's fair enough. The Tigers could fuck around and run up 40 on anyone, bro.
I'll tell you how badly they fucked me last year. I'm pretty sure. Who were they playing? I'm sure they're playing like a Queensland team. It might have even been the Broncos or the Cowboys. And I had them with the start, like same thing, about 8.5, 9.5. It was when Harry Grant maybe scored his first try. I'll have a think about this and we'll get it properly. But they were winning by like 14 and they still missed the spread or something like that in one of those games. And I remember going, at that point, it was I'll get the exact game and have a think about it. I go, fuck the Tigers. I'm not betting on them anymore.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Well, in that case, mate, I'm not mad at Multi Doom this week. I quite like it. I would love to see my boys in there, but I have to wait for my turn, I reckon.
Yeah,
because you've forgotten your roots, mate. The old man to be fucking turning in his grave.
Well, judging by what you think about the Seagulls, you'll be up next week, mate. So appreciate that. The Journo and the Vet at the moment will come up with a better name. Maybe the Degenerates can come up with a better name for us. But thanks for coming on, Jacko. See you soon, brother.
Appreciate it, mate. See you next week, eh?
See you, brother.